Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel NyabohanseTeacher. Today, as usual, we're going to do it's a continuation of the set text that we did last time, the last laugh. It was Act 1, Scene 1. So today we are going to continue with Act 1, Scene 2. So we're going to analyze the book page by page, and also some relevant questions that can be set from the page, because we expect some excerpt questions to be set there. And apart from that, we're going to analyze the text in terms of form and content. So in terms of form, we're going to check about the plot analysis, character traits, setting, of course, and styles and stylistic devices that are used there. In terms of content, we're going to look at the themes, message, and of course the storyline as we continue to analyze the text. So stay tuned up to the last statement or the last video so that you can learn anything. So if you have any question, you can always comment on the comment section. If you have met this video for the first time, remember to subscribe so that you learn every day. If you this is the first time you're watching the video, remember to hit me the thumbs up, and also remember to hit the notification bell so that every time I post my videos, be the first to to get the video. Otherwise, stay tuned. I'm going to analyze the book page by page. Remember to concentrate so that you understand. If you don't understand anything, you can always communicate with me through my contacts are in the bio. My email is there. Anything else, you will understand. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned. Okay. Hello, welcome back. Last time we had talked about these pages. We talked about Act 1, Scene 1, page 1, 2, 3, 4. And now today we are moving to this area. This is page 3, where Act 3 starts. Act 3, Scene 2 starts. Yeah, of course, Scene 2 starts later that day in the afternoon, a field in the small compound of the health facility. So, of course, this one is a stage direction that introduces to us the setting of the text of this scene. So, the setting of this, the time setting is in the afternoon. The place setting is here. The place setting is a field in the small compound of the health facility. So that is the field. That is the place setting. And then if we talk about the characters here, we have Mariko and even the workers through the voices. And then we can see here of course, this scene starts with a song. It's a style known as call and response. When he says, "When he calls me, I will answer." Of course, this song is important here because it can be used to build unity and discipline among the workers. Because if the workers are called and they answer, that builds unity. And then, of course, Mariko shifts to direct speech, where confronts their reality that they produce. For example, we are told here they produce 250 liters of milk, but none of them had a drop. And even work under 500 orange trees, they get nothing. Their children eat rotten food and die of malnutrition. And then he ends this with a rhetorical challenge where he said, who said slavery was abolished? So it ends like that. Okay, and then we shall look at themes. We have the theme of exploitation and also oppression. As you can see here, we are seeing that workers create wealth, but they never benefit from it. So if you look at here, we're told we work under 5. This is an illustration of the theme exploitation and oppression.
We work under 500 orange trees, but none of us have ever tasted an orange. The farm produces 250 liters of milk, but none of us get something. So that builds on the theme of exploitation and also oppression. They're oppressed because they are suffering. They are exploited because they don't benefit from what they are doing. And then we have the theme of slavery and also poverty. We're told here that when you talk about slavery, it is introduced by this rhetorical question of who said slavery was abolished? Was it? So it is new slavery. Yeah. Okay. And then when you talk about the theme of poverty, is here in a way where it is introduced by saying our children are dying of malnutrition because they are fed on rotten maize and beans throughout the year. So that means they are poor. So they don't have money to feed themselves. Okay. And then basically those are the major themes there here in this particular page, but there is also the theme of solidarity or unity through the song. You can see the song has the language that shows togetherness. Like this, I will answer the call of my comrade. Comrade is somebody that is united, somebody that works together. They have the same status. And then we move to the stylistic devices very fast. We have the song or the chorus. It is here. We can see here. When he calls me, I'll answer. When he calls me, I will answer. So this one is a song. It is a style. It is significant because it is used to unify the workers against the oppressors. Okay, and then we also have the stylistic device known as repetition. Through the song, we can also see okay, it is here laboring. It is repeated, laboring. That's a repetition. Okay, repetition. This one stresses how these workers toil endlessly. Okay, and then there is rhetorical questions that did not require answers, like this. Let me see. Who is poor? Why is he or she poor? Okay, this one creates self-reflection when you want to understand the theme of poverty, how the theme of poverty is brought about in this page. And then, of course, among others, and then there is also contrast or irony. Let's say irony, because it's ironical that these people produce milk but never drink it. They work under 500 orange trees, but none of us have ever tasted an orange. So we can say that this is ironical. This is an irony. It is a style known as irony. Okay. Yeah. So basically, questions that can be asked from this page are very simple. You can be asked maybe what kind of leader is Mariko. Then you can say maybe he's a good leader or he's influential, among others. And somebody can also ask you, why does Mariko compare their work to slavery? Then you can explain how that is. Okay, and then we can see that we can talk about Mariko. Mariko is a bold leader. Is bold and also outspoken. Okay. He's also a mobilizer. Okay, and then if you look at the way he's addressing the audience of the workers, you can say he's passionate. He's passionate. You see, his speech has urgency and emotion. He's not just reporting facts. He's even trying to ignite anger from the workers so that they can come together and condemn the oppressors. Okay, so they are the oppressed. They want to condemn the oppressors in that particular manner. Okay, and then we move very fast. We can see Mariko is also empathetic. He's empathizing with the other workers about their conditions. Okay, empathetic. Then we move clearly to the next page. That is page 6. where it is Mariko still addresses the workers. I think that the setting room is the same. So the Mariko still addresses the workers, building on the theme of poverty. Okay, and then Mariko confronts the system, that is the oppressors. He directly questions why poverty persists on Ora's farm, and even calls out the rich who hold nature's blessings. He says that who is holding nature's blessings? So that is the system tightly. He appeals to the audience and workers that these people need food, they need medicine, they need shelter. And then the son and the daughter of the bosses, they enter. Caller enters. You see that caller enters, surprised to see the workers. He's really surprised to see the workers gathered. She's condescending at first. Are these the workers who toil so hard on our farm? So that is really condescending. He summons to Oka, and then Mariko demands, go and call your brother quickly. Then Kola goes and fetches Oka, and then workers have hope through the stage direction. We are told that the workers are happy to see Oka, so maybe that is a sign of hope, okay, or optimism. And when you check about the character traits of Mariko himself, he is bold. Mariko is bold. He calls out Orwa and asks, who is this holding nature's blessings? So he is bold, or you can say he's courageous, or you can say he is brave. Those are synonyms. Those character traits are synonymous, so you cannot use all of them in an answer. You can just pick one of them. Okay, and then you can say he is he's revolutionary, because he wants to create a revolution against the oppressors by informing the workers about their plight, so that they can come out and fight back. Okay, you can also say he's compassionate, somebody that has compassion, because he tries to empathize with the conditions of the workers. Okay, he is also direct, because he faces the audience to appeal for the poor. Okay, he says, facing the audience, these people need food, they need medicine. So he's direct and also bold and also courageous. Let's look at the other ones. We have Oka. Caller first. She's condescending, because she says, are these the workers who toil so hard on our farm? Okay, and then she's detached also from these workers, because that means she has not been aware about the plight of the workers, what the workers are undergoing. Okay, and then you can say, look at what she is all about. You can say that. And then Oka, let's see Oka. Did they ask you to come and get me? What could be troubling them? So that means he doesn't know what is troubling the worker. So that means this person is uninformed. Oka is uninformed. That means he's uninformed about the condition of the workers. You can say the character trait there is he is uninformed or unaware. Okay, we can also say he is powerful, because he has that means this person has the ability to influence his father, or he has the ability to release the workers, or he has the ability to help the worker. That's why you see they are happy to see him. Okay, so he is powerful. Of course, he's dependable, because you see the workers are even happy to see Oka. So he's also dependable. He is powerful, he's dependable, he's also uninformed. He's only uninformed about the condition of the workers. Okay, and then the workers themselves, the traits, we can say they are basically hopeful. They are hopeful. They have the hope that Orwa's son Oka will help them. Let's see if that hope will be hopeless hopes or hopeful. We said in other videos that hopeful. If somebody is hopeful, you can also say he's optimistic. That is the synonym of hopeful is optimistic. We can also say the workers are dependent. They are dependent to many people in these texts to solve their problems. First, they are dependent on Mariko, because it is Mariko that guides them to understand their problems, and also they are dependent to Oka to help them. Okay, so they even believe that the bosses can help them solve their things, not themselves solving their problems. Then we move very fast. Major theme. We have the major theme here, the theme of poverty. The major theme of poverty is introduced here. We can see that when you talk about the theme of poverty here, you're told that there are many poor people, and the rich are very few. So you can say there that the theme of poverty is introduced when you are told that there are many poor people and rich are very few. And to show the condition of poverty in these workers, they do lack basic needs like food, medicine, and even shelter. So that means these people are poor. So you can say about the number of poor people versus the number of rich people, and also what they lack. So you shall have already talked about the theme of poverty. And then there is also the theme of exploitation and also inequality. Exploitation versus inequality. When we are told there are many poor people and the rich are very few. So that means it is the rich that hold nature's blessings, while the poor are just surviving on a thread. So that is inequality. That means they are not equally given what belongs to them, rightly belongs to them. So that is inequality, and they are exploited because when the rich hold the blessings, they don't, give the poor what is due. So that is exploitation. And then there is this aspect of hope, the theme of hope or optimism. Because when you talk about character traits, will be optimistic. That is an adjective. So character traits, we use adjectives, but themes, we use nouns. So optimistic is an adjective. When we want to change it to a noun, it becomes optimism. So there is a theme of hope or optimism. Who is hopeful in this text or in this page? We are seeing that the workers are hopeful that one of the bosses, or the son of the bosses, Oka, who is the son to Orwa, who holds nature's blessings, may help them. So we're going to see whether this is going to be false hope or is going to be real hope as we continue with the text. Then, of course, we also have the stylistic devices. We're having rhetorical questions as usual. Let me see. Where is rhetorical question? Okay, on this page, let me see. Of course, when you see a question mark, you can easily know where is the rhetorical question. Okay, here. There's this rhetorical question. Why doesn't poverty end once it has stricken? So that is a rhetorical question. Who is holding nature's blessings? Who is this holding nature's blessings? So that is also a rhetorical question. Rhetorical questions are just used for reflection and also understanding on the building of the theme. Then there is also repetition as a style in this page. For example, they need shelter, they need help, they need. So that one is just for emphasis. It builds urgency. That means that whatever they need is urgent, should not be delayed. And then there is also a style known as irony, because somebody says our savior is here. Mariko, I think. Mariko here, yes. Look at this. It is ironical that our savior is here. And when caller enters, Mariko says, our savior is here. It is very ironical because she's amongst the people that hold nature's blessings for a really long time, and they are still surviving or suffering. So that is ironical. It's ironical because caller represents the oppressor class. We have the oppressed and the oppressors. So it is very ironical to say an oppressor is our savior. It is very funny. So it can be irony or sarcasm. So it is a sarcastic remark. It will be verbal. I mean, that one can be sarcastic. When you talk about irony, that can be verbal irony. It is ironical. So irony is a style that explains or tells us about something that happens opposite to our expectation. Right. And then there is another style, direct address, where we are told that Mariko faces the audience and tells them they need shelter, they need food. I'm a medicine, they need shelter, they need help from you and you over there, you. So mostly when we talk about direct address as a style, we use the pronoun you to show the direct address, as you can see there. Okay, all right. There's also another style aside, when you see that when a character moves from the audience, from the other characters, and speaks to the audience directly, then that one can be aside. Aside, ASIDE. Okay. So we can see that the workers have moved from singing and questioning to directly confronting power. That means Mariko is impactful. So he's the voice of the. So we have seen that Mariko is the voice of the people, while Kola and Oka represent the out-of-touch ruling class. So that is how we can analyze the page. Somebody can test questions. For example, somebody can ask a question here by saying, why does Mariko say, but not on Orwa's farm? But not on Orwa's farm. Okay, another one can ask that according to Mariko, what 3 basic things do the people need? So the basic needs of the people, so we can see. So it's just like a comprehension question you can set, or we can say they are also called contextual questions. And then someone can ask, how does Kola react when she sees the workers gathered? So that means you tell us about the feeling or the emotion that Kola show. Another question can say, somebody can ask you, what does Mariko's speech reveal about his character? So that means the question is asking about character traits from his particular speech. Okay, and somebody can even ask you, how are the workers portrayed in this excerpt? So as a teacher, you can use this question to prompt the learners to see whether they are getting what is happening. So how are they portrayed? So when somebody asks how workers are portrayed, basically you have to give the character traits of the workers, how they are being viewed in the text. Someone can even ask you, why does Mariko call Kola our savior when she enters? Yeah, though it is a funny way of doing that. Students of this level can just ask them, identify and explain 2 themes evident in this excerpt. So that means the learner must give a stated theme, for example, exploitation, and then give how exploitation has been used on this page, or poverty, among other themes. Okay. think we're moving well. The next page. Yeah, we're almost doing it. Okay. I think this page is a continuation of page 6. The setting is the field in the small compound of the health facility or Oro's farm where workers are gathered. You see, it begins there. Look at the condition of these workers. How can father do this to fellow beings? That means when now Oka is called, is now reacting like that. And then Mariko is now explaining about the plight of the workers. That means plight of the workers are the poor condition or the bad conditions or the problems that the workers face. Okay. Then, all right. Okay. Then, I think the same time, it's the afternoon, just the same time that this guy had been called. Oka is really shocked. We can see the text begins when Oka is shocked. He speaks to Kola in a low tone, questioning how father can treat workers this way. He then asks Mariko directly, what could be troubling you here? What could be troubling you? And then it is Mariko, because he's the self-proclaimed leader. He's informed about the plight of the workers. He gives evidence by saying, he exposes the harsh conditions of the workers. Workers, for example, he says workers eat and sleep but get not pay. An old sick man is forced to work with no breakfast or water. He even concludes by saying whether we die or live, it makes no difference to him. So you see, he says we are really suffering. Father says as long as we eat and sleep, we do not need money. That is building on the theme of exploitation or the plight of the workers. Who does not need money these days? Look at this old man. He has been sick for the last 2 weeks, yet your father expects him to be on the farm early in the morning without breakfast, not even a drop of clean water. Tell me, is that possible? So he's really wondering. That means this guy is intelligent and clever. He understands their problems. And then Kola points out a young mother who looks 80. You see that there's this particular part. Kola says, brother, look at this lady. She looks 80 years old, yet she's a young mother. So that is building on the plight of the workers, the suffering of the oppression. And then I think the woman says something. The woman testifies by saying by showing her torn dress and as if Oka's father knows what it means to sleep under an old leaking roof and have only this to clothe thyself. If you look at this, my problem, Oka, does your father know what it means to sleep under an old leaking roof and have only this to clothe oneself? Looking at the baby in her arms who is now asleep, does your mother know what it means for a child to sleep on an empty stomach that roars like a threatened lion? So you see what these people are really undergoing. So you can see Oka's traits. You can say that he's sympathetic. That means he sympathizes with the condition of the workers. We are seeing he's really shocked. How can father do this? So that means he is sympathetic. We can also say he is concerned, because we can see he frowns at the injustice of his father. Okay. When he says, how can father do this to fellow beings? So that means he is concerned and also sympathetic. He is somebody, students will say, kind, loving, caring. Those can also be traits there. Sympathetic, empathetic, loving, caring, kind, among others. Right? Okay. We can also say he is ignorant, or he is naive. He is naive, Naive. He's ignorant about the condition of the workers. So that is his traits there. So he even asks questions showing how ignorant he is about the problems. So most students have a problem when talking about ignorance. They think that is ignoring something, but ignorance is lack of knowledge about something. Okay, so Oka is ignorant about the plight of the workers, so the poor conditions of the workers. Then when you talk about Mariko, as usual, major trait of Mariko, he is bold, he is outspoken, he is courageous, he is brave. So you can use those ones as style. He is bold, courageous, brave. They have the same meaning, so you cannot use them twice in an exam. You just use one of them. It's like saying clever, intelligent, wise, witty. Use one of them to illustrate the points. So we can see that to illustrate the style, the character traits, bold, we can see that Mariko speaks directly to Oka, uses specific examples. Sick old man, no pay, no water. He doesn't hold back. You see, that means he is brave. He doesn't fear speaking his mind. There are people that are usually, cowardly. They cannot say everything. He is calling a spade a spade. We can also see that this guy, Mariko, is confident or assertive. He's confident or assertive. That means he believes in himself. He doesn't hold back. He believes whatever he's saying is true. He is even factual. He gives factual remarks. He says directly, gives example. Look at this old man. He has been sick for the last 2 weeks, so he knows what he's saying. So he is assertive. Okay. And then he's, apart from that, you can say he's factual. That means he gives evidence for whatever he says. Factual, assertive, confident, bold, courageous. He is informed. So there are many traits to describe Mariko. He's informed. He knows what the workers are undergoing. He knows the poor conditions the workers are undergoing. And he is aware. Yeah, Kola, there's not much about Kola. She's just observant. You can say she observes. She points out the suffering woman. Look here. To the woman, oh, young mother, what is here? Pointing at the woman with the skinny child. Brother, look at this lady. She looks 80 years old, yet she is a young mother. So we can say she's just observant. Yeah. Okay, the woman, she's also mentioned there, here down there, where she says, my problem, Oka, does your father know what it means to sleep under looking at the baby? So we want to see this woman. She's suffering, and she is resigned. When she says that does your father know what it means to sleep under all leaking roof and have only this to clothe oneself? Does your mother know what it means for a child to sleep on an empty stomach and roast like a threatened lion? So she is direct like that. She is also suffering. So we cannot talk so much about her. You can see from there, Orwa's father is cruel, he's exploitative, he's oppressive. All negative traits point at Orwa. Themes here, I've already mentioned them. There is the theme of exploitation, suffering, and oppression, where we can see that so long as we eat and sleep, we do not need money. That is exploitation. So long as your father says, so long as we eat and sleep, we do not need money. So that means that being exploited. They're working without pay. And then there is the theme of suffering and poverty. We were seeing that sick old man is forced to work, young mother with torn clothes, appearance, among others. So that is suffering and poverty. You can see here, old man has been sick for the last 2 weeks, yet your father expects him to be on the farm early in the morning without breakfast, not even a drop of clean. I think this is the old man that had a bad cough at the beginning of the play. Yeah, and then we are moving. Then there is exploitation, and then you can also bring these, instead of saying suffering, you can say plight of the workers. So plight of the workers, and also suffering is almost the same there. Okay. Then there is can be the theme of confrontation. Let's say the theme of confrontation, where you can see the workers are confronting power directly. Where you see workers are now speaking directly into power and giving evidence, like Mariko has given evidence. The woman is also giving evidence. I think this is the woman that had a sick child at the beginning, whose lips were chapped. I hope you remember that description. It's very important there. The stylistic devices, as usual, we have a rhetorical question where it says, who does not need money these days? This is Mariko speaking. Tell me, is that possible? Does a father know what it means? So you can see here, the rhetorical questions evidenced. Who does not need money these days? Tell me, is that possible? These are rhetorical questions. Okay. This one can force the audience to answer, and even Oka and other people to answer. You know, they are really showing how reflective the characters are. Okay. Cannot really say that stage directions are styles there. You can say there is a repetition. I think there is emphasis on basic needs like food, water, money, shelter, among others. Here, there are a lot of repetitions. There's money. Money is here. Money. Let's see if money is also repeated. Let me see. That is a basic need. Let me say it's just repetition of basic needs. Money, shelter, clothes. Look at the old man, sick, person to be without breakfast, not even a drop of clean water. To sleep under an all-leaking roof. Cloth. So cloth is repeated. Okay. So though repetition is not really clear there. Not really clear. So you can see there is a style of rhetorical question. There is also symbolism here. You can see the skinny child. The skinny child and old man symbolize the most vulnerable victims of exploitation. So we have the child. Child is young and vulnerable. Old people are also vulnerable. So you have the old man symbolizes the vulnerable people in the society that are victims of exploitation. And we also have not the woman, but the sick child, pointing at the woman with the skinny child. So it symbolizes the most vulnerable victims of exploitation of a particular society. Yeah, we move. Okay. We can check on reflective questions on this particular page so that you can understand. Okay. How is Oka's character different from his father in this excerpt? You can say maybe he's kind, while his father is cruel. That means we want you to give the contrast between their character traits of the workers. Of the characters. Somebody can ask you, what is the effect of the woman showing her torn dress? So that one can be building on the theme of poverty. So we can see theme of poverty clearly. That one, showing a torn dress, an old leaking roof. So those ones are also theme. There's also a theme of poverty there. Okay, somebody can even ask you, what is the role of the stage directions in this scene? So that one can help them understand. Okay. Somebody can ask you reflective questions. So long as we eat and sleep, we do not need money. So long as we eat and sleep, we do not need money. What attitude does this show? So that one is asking about attitude, the feeling of the author. The feeling of this particular character towards the subject. Somebody can ask you, you can even ask students reflective questions by asking them, do you think Oka will help the workers? Among others. We are moving almost to the last part. I'm going very fast so that this video does not reach an hour, because this one I want it to be taught in a lesson, one lesson. It is so this one is continuous to the next page from where the woman was mentioning about her problems, giving the way his child sleeps in an empty stomach that roars like a threatened lion. That is still building on the theme of poverty. Okay, moving. Okay. I think the setting remains the same. The woman's testimony continues. She compares a hungry child to a threatened lion to show extreme suffering. And then Oka is moved. See? He asks, what can we do, sister? So he is concerned. That means the trait there, he is concerned. And notice the old man might die. He turns to the old man for complaints. What are your complaints? Then the old man speaks. The old man is hopeful. He appeals to faith and humanity. Hope that my African caste will hold and the poor man's prayer be heard. Then he challenges Oka with the rhetorical questions about Orwa's dependence on workers. When he says, can your father drive his cars, tractors, and machines without petrol and workers like us? And does he think he was created by a different God? So that is a challenge. And then Oka is torn. He says, I cannot stand this in our family. I cannot stand this in our family. You can see here. I cannot stand this in our family. And agrees with Kola to release these people now. So he makes a major decision that is a turning point in this particular play. And then Mariko warns, he fears that Ora's retaliation, his father may disown him. And then Oka is adamant, he defies this. Despite the risk, Oka decides to act. He says that he'll write a letter to Ora and boldly declares to the workers, go, you are now free, go. So this is the turning point of the play. We're going to see how this is going to impact the play. So we move very fast to the traits, and they are here. I'm going just to mention them very fast because you can easily identify from this page. You can see we can begin with Oka. He is you can see he is compassionate, he is sympathetic. You see, he sympathizes about the condition of the workers. He even listens to the complaints of the old man. So that means he sympathizes with them. He is kind, he is caring, and also loving. That means after learning about the problems that the workers are undergoing, he decides even to let them go. That means he is decisive. Remember that Mariko told him that your cruel father will disown you or do something worse. Who knows? So that means he is decisive. So once he has decided, no turning back. Like there are people that are just like that in our society. Okay, he's also defiant. You can say he's defiant. He defies the warnings of Mariko. Okay, yeah. And then you can even say he is bold and even courageous. He is bold and courageous. because he does not fear what his father might do. Okay, then the old man, you can see the old man is wise. He knows what he's going through, and apart from that, he understands that about the African caste is what makes them suffer, and the African caste generally is poverty here. And we can also say that this particular man is, is hopeful. As you can see here, he's hopeful. He's hope that my African caste will hold, the poor man's prayer be heard. So as we continue the text, we're going to see whether his prayer is going to be heard. Yeah, so he believes in prayer. So that's, we can also say he is spiritual because he believes in prayer. He is bold in a way because he questions the acts of Orwa, who is their boss. Can your father drive his cars, tractors, and machines without petrol and workers like us? Does he think he was created by a different God? So he is bold and courageous when he questions his bosses. There are people that cannot question their bosses and they still suffer. Yeah. So among that, so he's hopeful. The major trait of this guy is that he's hopeful about the African caste will hold or will stop. Kola has similar traits of Oka because she agrees with Oka whichever way he says. So we can say she is also sympathetic. She's supportive. She supports his brother to release the workers. Okay, she says here, we better release these people now, brother. Okay, she supports his brother. And then Mariko is cautious. For example, we can say he cautions Kola and Oka that your cruel father will disown you or do something worse. So that means he's cautious. And also he is also realistic because he understands the consequences of the actions of Oka. So you can say he's realistic. Okay, and then he's also protective in a way because he wants to protect the children from their cruel father, Oka and Kola. He wanted to protect them from their cruel father Orwa, because he knows to what extent Orwa can go when the workers are released. It means that these people are really dependent on, they're really dependent. Orwa is really dependent on the workers. Okay, we're going to see as we progress how important the workers are when they are released. Now, this is when he realizes that they are important. Okay. Yeah. So basically, the traits of Orwa are visible because I think teachers have taught students how to identify character traits from the texts. Other characters can mention the traits of other characters. We can see that this Orwa is selfish, he is cruel, he's also authoritarian because he uses his authority to undermine the workers. Okay, and then of course the themes are here. Okay, the themes are here. Right, we have the theme of hope. The theme of hope from the old man about his hope. Okay, and then there's a theme of suffering and poverty. We see that when this woman asks a rhetorical question by saying, does your mother know what it means for a child to sleep on an empty stomach that roars like a threatened lion? So sleeping hungry, sleeping on an empty stomach, that's the theme of suffering, and also the theme of poverty. That means poverty in the sense that this woman cannot afford the basic need, that is food. Okay, and then there's also a theme of greed. There's a contrasting theme called humanity versus greed. We are seeing that Oka and Kola choose humanity, by even releasing the workers, but his father chooses profit. He doesn't care whether they sleep hungry or not. So there's a theme of humanity versus greed. And then there is also a theme of equality or class difference. The old man questions, does he think he was created by a different God? He say, okay, he says, does he think he was created by a different God? So they know there's a difference in class or equality. There's also a theme of courage. The theme of courage, and where we can see Oka is very courageous. He risks being disowned by his father by doing what is right. So you can say there's a theme of courage. Okay, and then lastly, there's a theme of freedom. The theme of freedom or liberation, where this ends with the states that you are free. People now go. So that is freedom. There is freedom that is exercised there. Okay, and then of course the styles, we have a simile that says sleep on an empty stomach that roars like a threatened lion. So that is comparing the sound that a lion makes to the sound of the stomach of an empty stomach, or a stomach that is empty. And then there is rhetorical questions. You can see, can your father drive his cars, tractors and machines without petrol and workers like us? Does he think he was created by a different God? That is just to challenge the authority of the boss, or the superiority of the boss. And then there is also repetition here. Go. You are free people now, go. So that is repetition, gives a commanding effect or a triumphant effect. That means there is this finally the workers are released. Finally, they are free to go. It means now they are commanded. It emphasizes the command of Oka. So that means the moment you are told that you are happy to see him, then that means he has done it right. That shows that Oka is decisive. There is also a style known as symbolism. The African curse symbolizes poverty. African curse and poor man's prayer. They really symbolize poverty. Though someone can say African curse and poor man's prayer symbolize traditional belief in justice. So that means the prayer, that means they believe that one time they're going to be free. And of course, you see here, they are free. So let us see if they're going to be free forever. Or let us see if they're going to laugh, to have the last laugh. Okay? Let me see. I think we are almost ending. Let's see. It's ending by voices saying free, free, free. Oka confirms, yes, free, go. Of course, the workers reacted free, free, free. They can't believe it. They even want to confirm. Oka confirms them that give them the official permission. You are free to go. Is that a repetition? And then Mariko takes leadership and tells them, let us go and lead them out in a song. So yeah, so you know that he's the self-proclaimed leader. So the song, let us see what the song is about. It is a Swahili song. Shughuli kwa mzee ni mateso translates to working for the old man is suffering. It summarizes their years of pain even as they live. So as they live, they still remember the pain that they undergo. Okay. And then we are told that Okola and Oka watch in silence. The voices slowly fade. So basically, we are seeing that the workers The workers are united, they are expressive through their song, and then they are also surprised that they are free to go. Imagine. And then you can see that Oka is decisive. He even confirming their freedom. He says you are free to go. He's compassionate. He has compassion. That's why he allows them to go. Right. And brave, courageous, because he still allows them to go, even though he knows the fury that his father can have. Even if he had written a letter, he's aware about his father. Yeah. And then Mariko, of course, is the leader there, and there's also vocal. He's vocal. He is vocal when he says, "Let us go." You heard what he said. And then, Kola is still supportive, loving, and caring as usual. He watches besides Oka. She supported freeing them. Okay. Of course, when we end this chapter, there's a theme. There are several themes. The theme of freedom and liberation. They repeated the word "free." Oka's word "you are free." That is building on the theme of freedom. Through the song, there is an aspect of suffering, where we're told that shughuli kwa mzee ni mateso. In English, it translates by saying that working for the boss is suffering. So building on the theme of suffering. Okay. And then there is unity. There's a theme of unity and solidarity. Mariko leads and workers follow in song, showing collective identity. So then they had solidarity. So there's unity and solidarity. Okay. Lastly, we talk about stylistic devices. You can see the repetition. There's the use of repetition. The word free is repeated. Okay, there is also shughuli. The word shughuli in the song has been repeated. Shughuli kwa mateso ni mzee. Shughuli kwa mzee ni mateso. Mateso are problems. That is repetition for just emphasis. And then there is also the use of the song as a style. It's just used to express, to summarize what the workers had experienced. Yeah, it's normally there in African drama. And then there is the use of local language. We can say local dialect or local language. Okay, which makes this authentic, this text or this play authentic, or some can say original. Okay, yeah, that means it can tell us from the society where this story emanates from. So that is local language. Okay, I think we are done. There is symbolism. There is here, they walk out of their compound to their shelters. It symbolizes walking out of oppression. Thank you for listening. I think that is the end of the day. Basically, the workers gain their physical freedom, but the song reminds us their suffering was real. Oka and Kola silence hints that this freedom will provoke Orwa, setting up the next conflict in the play. So let us stay tuned and wait for the next. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.